I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Jack Ford has become a liability. Find him and kill him.
I have a target for you. Find him, terminate him.
Cyberzone.
Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to another review? And there's another paid request, this time from Rich. As for a film called Cyberzone, also known as Droid Gunner, which is a 1995 film that's pretty much a low-rent $2 version of Blade Runner, in a way. I mean, you got Mark Senior. It was always cool to see Mark Senior from The Beastmaster, but I remember him the most from this film. Watchers 2. Get this film on Blu-ray, please. But, again, that's where I remember Mark Senior the most from. And he plays a guy who is hired to recover these 4 pleasure droids, and they're being smuggled into Phoenix. Pretty much he's supposed to find these 4, he'll get a big fee, and this technician, played by Rochelle Swanson, is paired up with them. Meanwhile, Matthias Hughes, the bad guy in I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren, he has the 4 pleasure droids who he helped escape from this little prison, this facility they were in. And either he's driving this $5 looking ship and they're trying to hump him. He's like, ladies, please, as he's flying the ship. He loses one of them. They run off, so he's got 3 of them. I tried to this Mark Senior and this female technician going from point A to point B to point C to try to find these pleasure droids. Now, it's directed by Fred Olen Ray. The thing with Fred Olen Ray, he makes a ton of movies. He's made at least over 100 films. A lot of times with a different name. But I mean, he made Beverly Hills Vamp, The Alien Dead. He's made some horrible, terrible fucking films. Sniper, Special Ops with Steven Seagal. That was Fred Olen Ray. The one film I don't mind him doing was Deep Space. It starred Charles Napier, who was Murdoch in Rambo First Blood Part 2. And he kills a creature that looks this close to a xenomorph. Kills it with a fucking chainsaw, which is pretty badass. So I like Deep Space. But other than that, like, the majority of Fred Olen Ray's films are just junk. And this one included. I mean, is this a rant? Maybe this would be one of those films, if back in the day you're watching Cinemax or Showtime or something that comes up 2 a.m., you watch it. Maybe you have like a whatever time because the pleasure droids, the very sexy ladies, and quite a few times they want to hump or they show their titties, which is not too bad. March Singer, I guess you could say he's doing the best that he can with the limited crap that he has. It's funny that this takes place in the future, but then they have these antiquated stuff, like, I guess in this future, like, they make pleasure droids and all that stuff, but they can't make any laser guns, so, like, regular pistols. In fact, Mark Singer has a little tiny pistol to shoot, I think he, like, shoots an android's mouth off, which is interesting. Takes the head and puts in a bowling bag. It looked like a bowling bag to me. Places they go to a club, they meet a stripper, played by Brink Stevens, and she's like I think she's named Kitten, because she's got, not fur, but like the facial features of a cat, and she'll hiss from time to time. Oh, the funny thing about this is, when Matthias Hughes is flying in or away, like he flies in, rescues the pleasure droids, flies away, because Matthias Hughes, he plays, I guess you would call, what would his title be? Not really a bounty hunter, but I got in it for the money. A little bit like Mark Singer, but he's more into tracking cyborgs, robots, things of that nature, while him, maybe it's sort of the same game, say, Han Solo would do in Star Wars, that type of stuff. But I was saying, when he gets the girls, and then when he's leaving, the footage of the space battles is footage stolen from Battle Beyond the Stars. That's what it is. If you've seen Battle Beyond the Stars, you've seen this footage. It's literally footage from Battle Beyond the Stars. I'm like, even in 1995, just they did have a habit. Roger Corman and groups had a habit of stealing, anytime they shot in space, steal footage from that. And even this movie did it. And yeah, this was 1995. Battle Beyond the Stars was what, 1980? Give or take? What in... Holy shit. And those special effects are still better than the ones they actually had. You do just some nudity, you do just some sex scenes. Once in a while the movie will make me smirk. Like Mark Singer, he's trying to get information, so he's in kind of a massage parlor type of area. He walks in on a couple having sex, and he thinks this girl may be one of those androids, those pleasure droids. Oh. Wait a minute. Your husband's been looking for you. And it was a picture of a girl he was looking for at the beginning of the film, and he inadvertently found the girl. So I thought Mark Singer, when he says like lines like that, he had a little bit of twinkle in his eye. That made me go, I wish you were in a better movie, man. With an actual budget. With a director who knew what he was doing. It's like, okay, I love sex scenes too, but sex scenes, nudity, I could just go watch porn for that. I really could. And you could tell they kind of didn't know what they wanted to do. Because I swear, they go back to the same fucking club with Brink Stevens as the kitten, you know, the cat lady, like 3 or 4 fucking times. Like, they go back to the same fucking bar. At one point, they fight a guy who really is trying to be a wannabe Arnold. Not look-wise, but it's kind of acting, a little bit action-wise. He doesn't say this line, but I'm just saying it because of the accent. That you... I'm like, okay, that's obviously a nod to Arnold in some way. And there are moments that are laughable. Well, after they fight them to get out of the bar, there's a helicopter. Fucking Mark Senior shoots it with a six shooter. And when the helicopter blows up, imagine the helicopter. Now imagine the next scene, it's blown up, but it looked like someone put like a fucking lighter or just a light behind it. Or imagine something that just go flame to the side. I don't know how else to fucking describe it. It looked so cheap, bootleg mafia. What the hell is this? What is going on here? I don't get it. And literally, then they steal a line from Predator. Because after the helicopter blows up, Mark Senior, he looks over, he's hurt. And he literally says, I ain't got time to bleed. I ain't got time to bleed? You're stealing from Predator now? Cut to like Matthias Hughes, he's flying the ship. The pleasure droids, they're in these nun outfits. And they're trying to fuck Matthias. He's like, wait, girls, I'm flying. And Matthias Hughes, I mean, he's not a great actor, to be fair. He's not. He works well in I Come in Peace, where he doesn't have too much dialogue. He can work well when used perhaps the right way. And it was interesting to see him. He plays a good guy in this. Very rarely did he get to play a good guy, so that was interesting to see since I'm a huge fan of I Come in Peace. I love that film. So he did fine. And then Mark Senior, he's also dealing with this one guy that, I don't know why he kept making me think of Jabba the Hutt. You know what it is? Remember, you would see old footage, photos, and when Jabba the Hutt was supposed to be in the first Star Wars film, and when you would see the pictures, it'd be a guy standing there in place of Jabba the Hutt. He kind of looked like him. So I just like the human version of Jabba the Hutt from that. It just... It's one of those movies that just, you know, the sets and the dressings are cheap. The movie seems like it doesn't know where it wants to go. The fight scenes are not the best choreographed at all. There's nothing that exciting or remotely fun with the fight scenes. They meet up with Matthias Hughes, who offer him a deal. He's like, fine, I'll go with you. The three of them go to this underwater place. So you get a little bit of stock footage. Then you get a place that looks like a fucking water treatment plant. The action's low level. Poo, 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 poo. I guess, you know what? This is a rant. This is a rant. Because maybe I'm not as rage-fueled as other stuff I've seen. But this is a bad movie. There's a reason it gets a 3-point something. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen, Sally. It's not even the worst thing I've seen lately. Again, maybe to watch and get some giggles and shits and giggles out of. If you like Mark Senior like I do, to see him play a role, he's got a couple little fun moments. Or I guess maybe if you're a diehard fan of Matthias Hughes from I Come in Peace, who played the bad alien in that, you want to see him play a good guy from bits and pieces. If you want to see a movie that once again uses stock footage of Battle Beyond the Stars. If you want to see sex and nudity, but there's many places you see sex and nudity and take a lot less time. Again, the action is either low-level shooting or clunky fight choreography. It just Fredo and Ray, Dirty D's done dirt cheap, man. This is yet again another one of those things. Spoilers. Be in this water treatment plant after a number of boring shootouts. You get this almost out of the blue where there's Matthias Hughes and Mark Senior and there's this other bad guy, which I didn't even realize for a bit he was the main bad guy. I just figured, okay, he's one of the henchmen to the bad guy. But no, they make him prevalent in this. And they literally do. Remember For a Few Dollars More? Remember in the film, For a Few Dollars More, you had the bit with the watch? They do that with this. And it's like this three-way stand, which doesn't make sense because those two are together. They're with this. Anyways, the two going in on the bad guy, this watch thing. Mark Senior shoots the bad guy while the bad guy shoots Matthias Hughes. Matthias Hughes dies of his wounds. Meanwhile, the girl is fighting the other bad guy and does this, impales this thing. The guy dissipates. Just because of that, they got the 3 girls. And the guy's, I'll give you money, but where the fuck's my 4th one? Cut to the 4th pleasure droid in an outfit. Finds a random bum. And makes him the happiest person on planet Earth as she takes him away. I'm like, lucky, you lucky fuck. So, yeah. The helicopter scene where the helicopter blows up and then, again, it looked like a flame was put here where... I got time to bleed. Like, you literally had Mark Senior say a line from Predator. Brink Stevens, people might not even know who that actress is. She's done a lot of B movies. If you want to see her look like a cat, I didn't without the fur, but just like the facial features of the teeth. But yeah, the action is lame. The Mark Senior is trying. With all the handcuffs put on him, I think he's trying. But I like the guy. Matthias Hughes, not doing much to do. Some sexy women. Out of blue. For a few dollars more reference at the end with the watch. Like, I know they bring up the watch earlier in the film. Yeah, I know you bring up the watch, but doesn't mean you think it's going to lead to this. But anyway, yeah. At the end of the day, this is maybe watch the trailer, and if you're like, yeah, go ahead. But, I mean, there's a lot of other movies out there. There's a lot of movies out there, so there you go. What does that mean? It just means in this day and age of VOD, and if you have Netflix, or if you have other streaming services, or you have a computer, trust me, there are hundreds and hundreds of movies, and hundreds of other science fiction films, and even plenty of Blade Runner ripoffs that you can watch over Cyberzone, aka Droid Gunner. Did you get it, Blade Runner? He's the Droid Gunner. You get it? Blade Runner, Droid Gunner. Whatever. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.